Hello, Renee Flamand here. This topic is of particular interest to me because I suffer from codependence and have for a very long time. It's something I've known about myself for a very long time. And being someone who has suffered from being codependent, I'm telling you, this is like a magnet to these vultures. A magnet! Please hit subscribe if you're here. We'd love to have you join us permanently, and hit that like button and continue to comment. I love our conversations that we all have. Thank you too. Thank you. And please. When you are codependent, and the first time I was told I was codependent, it took me decades to really understand what it meant. And I mean decades. I remember the first time a therapist said it to me 20 years ago. And there's so much you can read about it, but I didn't quite understand what they meant. Very simply, you will place someone else's happiness above your own. In fact, your happiness is dependent upon them being happy. If they are not happy, you are not happy. You will work very hard to make them happy. You'll strive for that because yours depends upon it. You will love unconditionally. You will forgive endlessly. You'll offer comfort even if you are the injured party. You'll try to fix things even if you were the one that was wounded or wronged. And there's a difference in doing things to make someone happy in a healthy way and having your happiness dependent upon theirs. In a nice mutual cohesive relationship, I hope we all do things to make each other happy. Of course, I hope so. There's a difference. Your happiness is dependent upon theirs. Oh my God, the narcissist loves that kind of person. That their happiness counts more than yours. So you find yourself doing and trying and promising and bargaining, and even though you were the injured party and they are just in heaven watching you do all this, they love this type of person. Of course they do. They love being first. They look for that. And this can make it hard for you to turn your back on them. Having this feeling of codependence, it makes you hard to turn your back at them. You've been used to caring for them. So now, how do you walk away? People that look in might say, well, he did this, just leave. They may not be a codependent, and they weren't the victim of this narcissist love bombing in the beginning. They don't understand the cycle of it. So how do you walk away? You suddenly have to break apart and separate your happiness from theirs. Not as easy as it sounds if you're codependent. It can be tough. You're in the habit of that behavior in life. With people, it's going to feel weird for you to separate your happiness from theirs and realize they're not connected and they shouldn't be. Again, we're not talking about a healthy relationship where you both try to make each other happy and that essentially makes you both happier and it could be a nice big happy cycle. That's not what we're talking about. It can feel weird for you to separate your happiness out. It's not connected to them and it should not be. Connected. Dependent upon. That's the codependence. It's dependent upon theirs. So now you're trying to snap out of it. And it feels weird. It's against the grain inside you. You want everyone happy. They're telling you that they need you to be happy. It's lies. But they're saying all the things that may tug at those heartstrings within yourself. Pay attention to that. This codependency, if you have it, could be unknowingly motivating you to stay there and work it out. If you look at that, once I did, I could separate it out and at least not have that guiding me, as well as all the other feels that we experience with the narcissist. They're tough enough, just alone, standing alone, without this added burden. We got enough we're dealing with, we got enough we're carrying. We don't need extra. We don't need to be ignoring our own needs and putting theirs first, which is what we do when we're a codependent person. Okay, so how do you snap out of it? Because you can't change who you are. You can be aware of it and do work on it like I've tried to do, but you can't change who you are. But you can pay attention to it and try to notice when the codependence is driving you versus feelings you may mistaken for what is driving you. I'm not saying you don't have strong feelings for them, but is it all the strong feelings and the intense feelings and the life-altering feelings that are driving you, or is it part of your codependence? Because you've experienced good with this person and you've experienced bad with this person. The good and bad that you've experienced is all wrapped up in the dysfunction. And that codependency can add an element that makes it even tougher to battle. And they play on it. Your personality type being this way, they play on it. Even if they don't know the words codependent, or they're not playing on codependency in their mind, they know you keep giving chances. They know you've been repeatedly forgiving. And they know you're very likely to be so again. That you'll keep trying to work it out, that you'll ignore what's in front of you. Prime circumstances for them, right? It's prime circumstances for them to repeat the ill behavior and have you just try to keep making them happy over and over and over again. I could be sick when I think of how this guided me, this codependence guided me. Sick. I put myself in that back seat and kept myself there. My needs didn't matter. My wants, I'll get to them. Let's make him happy right now. Ooh, this made him upset. Ooh, he stepped out on me and he's saying it's because of this. Let me internalize that, blame myself, and let's just make him happy. Let's just make him happy. I'll figure it out later. I'm going to try to argue it, of course, and make my points, but even inherent in that, my goal was to fix things, to ultimately make us both happy. Him. Right? Especially when you're bargaining, you're trying to make them happy. You could be codependent. You could be. And you know, if you are, now you've got to snap out of it and not care. And that's tough. I say that like it's just something you can just do. It took a lot for me to round the corner and realize my happiness counts too. That's not even enough, is it? That's like the first step you get to. Counts too. Your happiness is first. You know, they say put the oxygen mask on yourself first, then tend to the child. Well, your happiness is first. I'm not talking about if you have children. They come first, I get it. But in the grand scheme of life, past children over whom you're responsible, you're first. And some of you might say, well, God's first for me. Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is the narcissist shouldn't be first. Their happiness. And you know, I started to think of it this way too. If you're in a healthy relationship and you at least can figure out equal, their happiness and yours is equal, I'll even take that from a codependent. If that's as far as you can get, is saying, you know what, his happiness is very vital to me. I'll never change. I'm happy when he's happy. Right? Because maybe you can't shake that codependency. But please elevate your own happiness to a level of respect that it deserves. Okay? So if you can't shake it, not with a narcissist, but in a healthy relationship and they're happy, at least say, you know what, mine counts too. Of course yours counts. They love that codependency. They love it. The narcissist feeds on it. They're counting on you to be the way that you are. They knew it when they met you. They could sense it. They could tell by just the way that you react to things that they tell you. They could tell by the way that you respond when they try to break down your boundaries. You say yes. Why? Why did I say yes? The day he showed up at my door 3 or 4 days into the relationship and I was covered in paint and I didn't know he was coming over, yet I jumped in the shower and ran to dinner. Why? To make him happy. What would have made me happy that night? Oh, obviously I'm painting. I can't really go out right now. What did I do? I dropped everything. And I had a friend here. She was dropped everything and ran out the door because it would have made him happy. This is about boundaries. Come into everything with the narcissist, and this is no different. You got to keep your own happiness alive and well in the realm of your goals. Do not allow somebody else's to fast forward past you. And if you've been doing it, snap out of it. Snap out of it. And I'm not saying I want you to become a selfish person where somebody else's happiness doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. I always want the people that I love in my life to be happy. And I go through great lengths to make sure that they know I have their welfare in mind. I'm very vocal with my love for my friends and family. I'm very much on their side. Perpetual cheerleader. I raise people up from my heart. I get happy. People are doing well. They have this happening in their life. That's all well and good. But I don't think anybody in my life that is healthy or functioning properly wants me to be concerned with their happiness over my own. Because they, as a healthy individual, are responsible for their own happiness. A healthy individual will be responsible for... Oh, this tongue sticking out. Can you see? I wish you could see. Oh my God, I can't take it when this tongue's sticking out. A healthy individual, that little pink, is somebody that's responsible for their own happiness. And it shouldn't be dependent upon somebody else's. Again, I'm not talking about children. If your children are happy, you're happy. Of course. That's not in a dysfunctional, codependent way. To place another adult's happiness above your own is not what anyone should expect from you. And again, it's going to feel weird. I hear some of you right now out there going, I'm not putting myself above other people. That doesn't seem right. Well, the relationship with the narcissist kind of knocked me into reality and realized that it's absolutely right. Of course you count in the relationship as much as them, if not more. They're an adult. They can work on their own happiness aside from you. You shouldn't be the one responsible to be in their life and bring them happiness and take, lemons that they told you about and make the lemonade for them. They are an adult. I think I just spit. I saw it spray. If you did, I apologize. I get a little passionate on the topic. But I feel like once you realize and wrap your brain around the fact that you're responsible for your happiness, the next adult is responsible for their internal happiness, and so on and so forth, you can then start to concentrate on that with yourself. Cut it off at the knees. You're not responsible for them. We're like candy to them. Just keep an eye on that.